I'm going to give you guys one rule of advice to actually live by. Never trust your government. When you actually put all faith in your government, you actually lose all of your rights. When you enable the government, you lose all of your rights. The government is not going to protect you if you are in Chicago. I believe that's pretty clear. Actually, I believe that Brandon Johnson has made things a lot worse for a lot of people over there in Chicago. This man has been a disaster. Lori Lightfoot looks like a great option compared to this guy right here. But I told you guys before that the Democrat Party is a party of socialists and communists. I mean, guys, the Democrat parties went so far left now that they have alienated, regular 90s Democrats. I mean, honestly, guys, you can't even recognize it. There's a massive difference. A massive difference. Now, in Dallas, the Dallas mayor just flipped from being a Democrat to a Republican. Now, I believe that this was going to happen anyway because this guy cleaned up crime over there in Dallas. I mean, he's done an outstanding job over there. I found out about him like a year ago. His name is Eric Johnson. He's a black man. And he cleaned up crime in Dallas, a major city. He is the complete opposite of a Brandon Johnson. Now, Brandon Johnson is a progressive, and I believe that Eric Johnson of Dallas, I believe he was more of a conservative Democrat. And of course, the Democrat Party, they don't like that. He's getting crushed right now because he flipped. Now, of course, in these elections in these cities, they always say that it's actually nonpartisan. That means nothing. No, everybody that's running in these mayoral elections is Democrats. Everybody knows that they're Democrats as well. But anyway, let's get back to Chicago here because Brandon Johnson, man, is a communist. And that's about to be official here soon, guys. Now, this man is extremely soft on crime. He may be the most soft on crime mayor in this country. Just wait till tomorrow, guys. I'm pretty sure Rose is actually going to put up the video on the number of shootings in Chicago. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad because it's always bad. I mean, a good weekend in Chicago is when 20 people get shot. That's a good weekend right there. That's how bad it is. But this man right here, because of his soft on crime policies, and also Lori Lightfoot as well, because Brandon Johnson has only been in office for 5 months or something like that. Stores are actually leaving Chicago. Grocery stores, they don't want to be in Chicago. Why? Because the theft, the crime, they're not making a profit. And when there's no profit to be made, the doors will close. And that's happened across the board in Chicago. But the communist Brandon Johnson now has a solution. How about this, guys? Communist run grocery stores. Yes, government run grocery stores. And of course, Brandon Johnson needs to fight racism with this. Really? Look at this on Daily Wire here. Democratic mayor proposes government-owned grocery store for, quote, racial justice. Yeah. I mean, Democrats have run these stores out of the city. Their policies have run the grocery stores out of business in these cities. So in these black neighborhoods or Hispanic neighborhoods, guess what? These grocery stores not making money, they got to leave. So that means that these black neighborhoods and Hispanic neighborhoods, they got to go elsewhere to actually grocery shop. And now Brandon Johnson has a solution. Make the residents depend more on the government. Yeah. So let's read this, guys. Chicago's Democratic mayor has announced a partnership with a far-left nonprofit to advance his proposal of a government-owned grocery store, which he argues is needed for the sake of, quote, racial justice. I want to laugh right now. I really do want to laugh right now, guys. Mayor Brandon Johnson said in a press release this month that the city-owned grocery store, which would be the largest of its kind in the U.S., is needed to address the exit of corporate grocery stores and promote food equity. Now, guys, I already know what's going to happen. These communist grocery stores are still going to get robbed by the criminals. And I'm willing to bet, guys, that the consumers of these grocery stores, they're not going to get quality food. They're not. We know that the Democrats, man, they really, really hate meat. You know, the progressives, there's probably going to be a bunch of, food with chemicals and stuff in it. It ain't going to be like Whole Foods or anything like that. It ain't. It's probably going to be pretty much dirt, to tell you the truth. This is going to be a disaster right here, in my opinion. But look at this here. This is what Brandon Johnson had to say. His office anyway. Quote, food access and security linked directly to environmental and racial justice. Johnson's office said in a press release, adding that, quote, 37% of black residents and 29% of, this man actually used the word Latinx. Does he know that that's very, very disrespectful to Hispanics? But anyway, residents are food insecure compared to 19% of residents overall. The mayor's office argued that historic disinvestment has led to inequitable access to food retail across Chicago and noted that existing inequities have been exacerbated as at least 6 grocery stores closed on the south and west sides over the past 2 years. I'm wondering why, Brandon Johnson. Why? It's because they were losing money because of crime. Democrats don't want to prosecute crime. They're getting robbed. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if similar cities like San Francisco did something similar, because San Francisco, a lot of stores actually leaving there too because they're getting robbed. I mean, it's a disaster. Now, the government is going to take charge and you will eat dirt to survive. Yeah, this is what communists do, guys. You know, it's in communist countries that, like North Korea, for example, the people over there, not well fed. Not well fed. I mean, too much government, man, is going to be bad for your health. It goes on here. It says, indeed, as Chicago continues to reel with violent crime and large-scale theft, corporate grocery stores like Walmart and Amazon-owned Whole Foods have recently packed up and left Chicago. I mean, I got to be real, guys. To the people in these neighborhoods, it's going to be worth the trip to actually go outside of Chicago to another area, you know, where crime isn't bad, where there is a Whole Foods or a Walmart. You're better off going there than actually depending on the government to feed you dirt. I mean, maybe this was actually a part of the Democrat plan over there, was to actually get these corporate stores to actually leave so they can actually take over and feed the people dirt. Yeah, this is bad. Look here. Walmart announced the closure of 4 stores in Chicago's South Side and West Side neighborhoods back in April and said it was due to a lack of profitability going back 17 years when the company first opened in Chicago. Quote, these stores lose tens of millions of dollars a year, and their annual losses nearly doubled in just the last 5 years, the press release said. Of course, when everything is getting stolen, guess what? There's no profit to be made. None. Zero. Zilch. The statement did not specifically mention shoplifting, which has jumped in Chicago by 25% over just the last year. However, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon did warn last year that if shoplifting across the country didn't slow down, he'd have to shut down some stores, of course. And that is what has happened. That is what has happened, guys. I mean, it's a simple solution. You need to prosecute crime. But we know George Soros is not going to allow that. You know, these Soros DAs, man, they're letting criminals get away with a whole bunch of things. But the people, man, in these cities, they keep voting for this. They voted for Brandon Johnson when they actually could have had the moderate Democrat. I'm assuming he was a moderate. I mean, he was talking a good game about prosecuting crime. They didn't want him. They wanted the radical progressive that said, nah, we're going to be soft on crime. Let's not demonize these kids that are downtown burning up stuff. You know, he didn't like them actually being compared to the mob. Yeah, these kids out there should actually be at home. But actually, you know what, guys? They were actually agents of terror downtown. But Brandon Johnson, it's okay. Said it's okay. Now check this out. It says here, the mayor's chief of policy, Umi Grigsby, has claimed that this project won't use taxpayer dollars. Now, it does mention here, let me go back up here and read this part. The city has yet to provide an exact estimate for the price tag of something like a city-owned grocery store, but it is notable that the mayor announced just this month that the city is projecting a deficit of $538 million for the upcoming fiscal year. But they say they won't be using tax dollars. Okay. It says here, though she admitted the city would use state and federal funding. So, to me, that sounds like tax dollars still. Yeah. Quote, we are not spending any taxpayer dollars, right? She told CBS Chicago. What we're also going to be able to access is the funding that exists at the national level and the state level. Yeah, so now the U.S. government is actually going to be funding this. That's total communism right there. Critics have said this grocery store proposal is akin to Soviet-style central planning. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Quote, well, not a quote, but detractors have also highlighted the city's penchant for corruption and the city's $500 million deficit to question how the store could be efficient. There are also still questions about how prices would be set, how this would be superior to private grocery stores, and how it would affect private enterprise. Yeah, this thing's going to be a disaster, man. It's going to be a disaster. This is definitely Soviet style. This is definitely communist grocery stores. Here in the United States of America, guys, this thing's going to fail so epically, I believe. That crime is going to be a disaster. Now, will you actually be getting name brand products? I don't know. Will you be actually getting actual real meat? I'm thinking you're going to get a lot of processed stuff, a lot of garbage. Like I said, you're going to be eating dirt. You're not getting quality food here. And of course, you know, they got to throw in racism. Of course, we need to fight racism with food equity. But you're going to be eating dirt, and your dirt is still going to get stolen. This is awful, man. Completely awful. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.